We are live. I think. Let's just double check. Are we live? Yes, we are. Fantastic. Okay. So, yesterday a patch came out. One second. Yeah, so yesterday a patch came out and I completely thought it was for the DLC, but in fact, it was quite substantial. They changed how lucky dice are now tracked across your entire profile, not just on your character, which makes sense. I'm surprised they didn't have that from the beginning. You can rename your pets now. They increased the end game and how many levels of chaos you can go into. And they added a bunch of gear and loads of stuff. And the most important thing is they've fixed so many glitches, which is what we ran into last time. So this should be good. Oh. Did it not save? Oh yeah, it did. Okay, so last time we saved Bright Hoof. And we're just going to be following... what's her name? Butt Stallion. To get the Sword of Souls. Last time as well, we talked a little bit about the history of Gearbox. We went through some spells, went through the overworld, plus so many other things. It was a good time. Speaking of which, we are back. Ah. So these are encampments. You can just go in them whenever you want to. So they've added a UI now to them. They didn't used to have that enter. But fair enough. We should continue on our quest. You can zoom in. Don't see why you would need to, because there's clearly a waypoint. We're going to be going to Shattergrave Barrow. I mean, that looks beautiful. The unsaturated colour scheme of that. What's interesting to me is that Borderlands always has levels segmented off into maps separated from each other. I guess that's why they wanted to have that overworld in this, just to try and tie them all together. It's just a shame that they still have fast travel. Seems to me it would have been a lot better if they just got rid of that entirely and dependent more on traversal.
The Queen says that the sword was hidden here in case the evil souls roused from their graves and needed to get absorbed.
Why didn't she just absorb the Dragon Lord's soul and be done with it?
Let me just do one thing as well. Let me just turn up the game volume just a bit.
I don't know, he's bad, but he's not that bad. And what do you not want a villain to fight? Huh, Fret?
Yeah, Fred. Sucker.
So the vending machines in this game aren't that great. Because at first glance, you look at them and you're like, I don't even know what any of those correspond to. Two of them, one of them's equipment, one of them's guns, and the other one is a ring and ammo. Doesn't really make sense. They could all just be one. And from the outset, they don't really inform you of what they actually are. Which is a shame. But still, yeah.
You little cutie idiots.
Salutations.
You're here for the Sword of Souls, aren't you? They put me in here for being possessive, but the joke's on them. I'm gonna get to the sword first. Then the Dragon Lord's gonna make me his right-hand lady. Hey, she's just trying to make us learn exposition. Shoot her in the face a lot.
Brett gets it.
Well, I hope the bards add a little more drama to that one.
That's not gonna work on me, you cutie dummy. I told you I was possessive. That body sucked anyway. I'll go get a better one.
Did you hear what she said about me? Not that bad. Nice try. But she can't retcon turning me into the villain in all her campaigns. No, wait. There was that one other guy. The sorcerer, job-stealing hack. Handsome, though. A handsome hack.
So we've got a cryo weapon. Perfect for these guys. This is one of the places where Wonderlands really shines. Is in these instances where you have a linear map. You're just literally traversing through it, playing through it. Whereas the other style of map that they have are like open, and these spring off into like side objectives and things like that. But I think these kind of maps really do well because they're so focused. Like, we clearly know now to follow the blue wisp. And you'll notice how we have all these orange lights dotted about. It's actually guiding us subtly through the level to look for that next blue light. As you can see, it pops in. So we know to go over there already. Just gonna kill some more skellymen. Of course, these guys have grey health bars, so that means they're weak to frost. This level in particular is just really subtle and really well designed, in my opinion. Because it's, as I said before, it's leading you by using the terrain, like this bridge, all the way, all the way through, to make it feel like you're traversing through it without really feeling like it. You have these guys. We've also got a mixture between grey health bars and red health bars now, so we have people that are weak to fire and weak to cryo. Oh, I didn't even see him. So she's gone into that person now. Oh, I leveled up.
Not gonna kill me that easy. She's ruining my favorite part of killing things, which is that they shut up and stay dead.
Inside the mausoleum, a chest catches your eye.
So yeah, so that's probably why we had fire barrels around here as well, to help us with those red health bars. I mean, look at this terrain, right? It's actually amazing. So what they've done is they've desaturated the environment to make everything else more colourful. Again, If it wasn't for the lighting and the VFX artists, this game would be a whole lot different.
It's a dark magic spell.
So dark magic, I don't really think I want them, but dark magic is, I think it'll force me to pick one up.
Health-stealing powers.
Sounds evil, but let's call it morally gray.
Doing a little grave robbing, huh? I knew you weren't completely boring. I'm still gonna beat you to the sword. Let's go get to know each other. Somewhere nice and quiet. Like your grave!
So again, look at this framing. We know we're going to go to that blue stuff, and we're just being subtly guided through it. Now what they're going to do is they're going to switch it up by giving us some different enemies. But really, it is just the same thing. But now they're also going to change the terrain, which is really cool. So now that we've got some raised platforms, we can climb up, and there's cover. It all kind of works. And as I say, this is when the game is at its best, is when it's intertwining all the gameplay, mixed with the combat, mixed with the level design and the VFX. And you can compare this to a lesser stage in the game, and that's why they don't feel as good. I'm not going to die to a crab. I like it as well, because of the terrain being raised, you've got these water wells that geographically would make sense. Ooh. Use a spell. Another good thing is they've used the gravestones not only as environmental, but also as cover. So that, again, they're blending the two. It's really, really good. Switch to my pistol for a bit. Another cool thing is basically this area would look the exact same as the first area if it wasn't for the lighting. Right. I'm slowly being guided through. Oh, cosmetic. I already own that. Best use my skill point, eh? What do we want? Elemental damage. Action cooldown rate. I don't really use it that often. I should really use it more. The lightning ability damage. Actually, all damage dealt to allies is reflected. Yeah, I don't think we'll be needing that, so I guess we'll do the element. I think last time we did this, we got to wisdom. So we can do... Wait, what does that even say? Oh, my eyes went mixed then. It says constitution. So we'll do constitution. Why is it not letting me do it? Confirm. Brilliant. Aha. Now we got this like runic aura around us. Pretty cool. Using my ability.
Soul takes off for the large ruins up the hill.
God damn it. That still never gets old. It's so underutilized though in the overall game of just smashing things. Definitely need more of that. More incentive for it anyway. Oh, my wyvern just straight up killed that man. I mean, look at that framing. We had the ruins in the distance at the start, and now we've emerged and we're ever so closer to our final goal. That's why these sections just feel so rewarding to play through, because it just genuinely feel like you're getting the satisfaction of going through a level. Boom. So waypoints are cool as well. So they actually integrate them now into the overall how things look, whereas they used to be on a compass in Borderlands 1 and 2. And I'm really surprised that they got rid of the compass. To me, that just would be so much better than that mini-map. Because this keeps me in the world, but looking up to that top right corner really takes me out of it. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
The Royal Majesty says you will need to find the Tome of Fate and read the Fate Maker's Creed aloud to gain entrance to the relic repository below the moons.
You got it. So we need something else. I mean, look at that. So I mentioned in the first episode that this was diffusing light. It's actually called soft light. I now know. And basically what it is it gives it your environment an atmosphere instead of hard light, which would be not so much that, it would be like items that like bar. That would be hard light to direct it, and the soft light used there is more as decoration. Not only that, it just lends itself to the theme. Nice, nice. Crabs. Spider crabs. So I'm using an unelemental weapon, which is a very silly thing to do. Oh, there's a lucky dice there. You know what? We will try an assault rifle out for a bit. Could be fun. Anything good? So this area in particular is just really, really beautiful. Now we're into some parkour sections, which, much like the melee stuff with the crates and the barrels, it's really underutilized. I might as well use that. Yeah, I feel like they could do so much more, but with them changing the gravity for Wonderlands back to a more normal Earth-like easing of it, I don't know how much they could really do. Whereas when you're on the moon in the pre-sequel and things like that, the parkour stuff felt bigger, more potential. Or even if you had like a little booster jetpack, you might be able to do something with it. But it just feels lacking. There's not really a moment in the game where you do need to parkour for anything, really. You're more mantle than parkour. For instance, I think you can tell where we need to go, right? That kind of stuff is pointless. I think that's a really bad job of telling us where to go with a bright yellow thing. That really does take you out of the immersion of the world, because it doesn't really fit with the world. Yellow paint. If they changed it for like a purpley paint, maybe. Somewhat more fitting with the theme. Onwards.
Your voice echoes through the ghastly ruins. There is no answer.
That's good. Reminds me of Signs when the alien walks past. Got some lootables. I mean, look at this. You wouldn't think, if it wasn't for the UI and the gun, you wouldn't think this is Borderlands at all. In a good way. Oh, shit.
We're freaking out. Just a minute. This is why I shoot every chest just to be sure.
As
That's
the minute
fantastic.
dies, it belches out the
More mimics.
Tomb of Fate.
More mimics is what I say.
You're gonna have to read it aloud on the altar outside.
My old nemesis.
Reading?
Out loud.
Yeah, it's a real shame they don't have more mimics. I feel like as it's a Borderlands game, you'd think they'd have like some RNG basis of like a 0.01% chance of a mimic being a chest, you know? Kind of like how they used to do loot midgets. Because as far as I know, that is the only mimic in the game. Maybe I'm wrong. Upwards we go. Ooh.
Place the Tome of Fate upon the pedestal and read
Look at that.
out the
Brilliant
fate
level
matrix.
design. So we've just looped back around. That's why I think this is one of the strongest levels in the game.
Fate brings us together.
Ooh, I like that. Fate brings us together. That's going on my vision board.
Do you really believe that, Tim?
What? Nah, girl, that's just some fancy butt crap. But I guess
Oh.
you know, fate brought us together. Like, I don't know, whatever.
Strange to me that they seem to forget about Tina's last DLC. It's like we don't mention it ever happened. It's like we went through some stuff in that DLC of Tiny Tina's, you know, her thoughts and how she was feeling at the time. And now it feels like we're doing the exact same thing. Doesn't feel like she's grown from it. But at the end of the DLC, she did.
Idiot, you caught up. Not gonna do you much good though.
Oh dear. Sliding. That's another thing you don't quite utilise enough, I don't think. It does look really cool. That action pose, I wonder if I can get that in photo mode. Doesn't look as cool, does it? I mean, we are sliding, but really, our body should be more angled, shouldn't it? To give it that sense of, oof, we're going fast. But I guess you shouldn't really be seeing that. Oh. Don't get hit by the big hammer. And let's switch that to the 3-shot. There we go. Much better. We can shoot that barrel. Look at this.
The moldy barrel was filled with decay. Dead gross stuff. It was full of nasty evil smells, and its Oh, it's so gross and bad. Oh, God.
There. You brew homemade ketchup wine. One time.
So it might seem trivial to say that, oh, that the light's directing us, or even old school now. Like, it's a common knowledge of that. I guess they don't really change it up. I think they just do it for the sake of doing it so you don't get confused. That's the thing with Wonderlands. Every time they do something, it always makes you think, well, why do they have the map? Or why do they have this if they do this? It's like the two teams are fighting, you know, against each other. Like, we have to make it easier to understand, yet at the same time, it is easy to understand. And they kind of over-complicate and oversimplify. Ooh. Simplicities like that. Oh, we got some traps.
You're fun. What a shame you and your stupid queen are gonna die once the DL gets the sword.
Ah, so typical. Before a boss fight, you're gonna see all these. No idea why you would need equipment before a boss fight, but they give it you anyway, and you can refill your ammo. So it's less of a surprise that we're gonna go to a boss fight now. And I guess they want you to be more of a strategy to it.
Excuse me while I slip into something more catastrophic.
Zomboss time. Fortunately, we don't get a intro cutscene, but it's alright just the same. Unique attacks, I suppose, which is a melee person, much like myself. She would have great damage against poison. That orange health bar, wouldn't she? Oh, but look at that damage. Now, in 5 years' time,
I have beaten you for the last time.
when we think about this game,
The hulking body of the Zomboss collapses. Her Majesty reappears.
I don't think we'll be able to remember her or Ribula.
You have impressed
Any
the royal
differences?
hotness with your courage and total badassery. She will now grant you entrance to the sacred chamber that holds the Sword of Souls.
Aww.
Oh, good for you, cutie idiot.
Almighty robot policeman! How do we kill this zombie act for good?
Give me that sword. You
Fret is the best.
even use it right. It needs to be charged with soul energy. And that only comes from your precious queen and the souls of living things.
Uh-huh.
I can think of at least one soul nearby that needs absorbing.
Give me that sword! It's not even yours! It was the Dragon Lord's to begin with. You're just stealing from a guy because he's evil, and that's more evil when you think about it. What?
It's time to vanquish you.
The Sword of Souls clatters to the ground. Like this. Clatter, clatter, clatter. Now you must take the sword back to Brighthoof. A town portal opens up.
So wasn't that great? That just entire level was just so finely tuned from the beginning to the end of just feeling great. Really good. And now we get a nice portal back. Strange that they show Brighthoof there, bright, and not what it is right now, but hey ho. Do 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 do. Dooby doo doo doo. Dooby dooby doo. Dooby doo. Doobie doobie doo. Do 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 do. Boo boo doo.
She says you'll need to bring the sword to the fountain in the main square.
I see what she did there.
Double entendre.
I like it. I don't think that's what a double entendre is, though. I think she's referring to a pun.
As you place the sword into the fountain, soul energy swirls through it and out in the city.
Ah, the sky in the game looks like the sky outside.
Fires are extinguished. The houses get put back together. The crowds are cheering for you.
That's great.
Thanks. I love me too.
And the crowd goes wild.
Let's says to, look over here. She's gonna do something special for you.
For me? For me? Oh, she... Oh. Oh, that was... Don't think that was intended. That particle effect, but it's me! It's me. Wow. Just what I wanted. Uh-huh. I hate how Paladin Mike stands. He stands like the emoji. Like, move around. I don't like it. I don't like how this elemental thing is going to be here forever. That's just not fun.
Who is that? Can he see through the soot in the eyes?
I am the hero of Brighthoof.
How are you a blacksmith with those arms?
Never met fate.
Either you're not a good blacksmith or you're not you don't exist.
Free any weapons or armor directly on account of my exclusivity contract with the crown. It's to keep the vending machine stocked. I'm a proud part of the military pre-industrial complex, you see, but I can offer you expansions of your carrying capacity. More bullets, more loot, more fun.
Uh-huh.
Sample of me wares on the house.
Oh. Yeah, so she doesn't sell weapons, which would make sense. No, she sells inventory upgrades. What? Why? I mean, we're going to buy them. I mean, the best thing to do is backpacks.
Fine choice.
What?
While you're seeing your way around Brighthoof, go and talk to the lovely lassie who runs the soda tavern. That's easy. She pulls a mean pint. Soda.
Wow. Yeah, I don't understand gameplay or design-wise why they didn't just have the backpack upgrades in the world like they did for Borderlands 1 and 2. They switched it for 3 because you're traversing across the galaxy, but for this, it would make so much sense for you to be collecting bags. So in theme. Very odd.
The tavern keeper
Easy
waits
fizzy.
over. And, that way that only tavern keepers can do.
Welcome in. Welcome to Izzy's Fizzy's, where all liquids consumed on premises are just soda and nothing else.
Mini soda.
Maker who fought off all them skeletons.
Aha! Yes, 'tis I. So good to meet
Do you think that's why she has a Minnesotan accent?
Thanks for nothing. Half the
Minnesota?
barricaded in here, and they were slurping down Virgin Shirley temples like it was the end of the world. I'm only judging you, Fate Maker. You did us a mighty fine favor. Now, out of thanks for saving our city, let me avail you of our amenities here in the Soda Tavern. Here's a magical quick change kiosk if you need to change anything fundamental about your entire being. It's free, weirdly enough.
Fantastic, we can now name our pet. due to the patch that just came out, I think. There it is. Whole beat. Oh. Let's see, shall we? Who shall we call? What should we call him even? I mean, there's only one. Yes, there's only one thing to call him. And that is Steve. Fantastic. From the screen, which you couldn't do before, we can now change our colour scheme. Which, I mean, if you're into that, go for it. Could be gold. Well, I like that one. I like that. What does that remind me of? Reminds me of those like sweets you used to get. With like the push-up sweets. That's what that reminds me of.
Right this way.
Take me more on a tutorial, please.
And right here is our lost loot machine. Very popular. Any nice stuff your enemies drop but you happen to miss will just show up right in here.
Lost loot.
Finally, we've got plenty of city
What did I lose?
yourself out there in the world.
Oh my god.
Down here in the soda tavern. Someone have posted it's been so pulling non-alcoholic pints all
Oh, these are all level 40 stuff.
Oh, listen
Okay,
to me,
well.
lip flapping while you could be off adventuring.
We'll forget about that.
Busy day.
Fate Maker! Got a little surprise for you.
Mm-hmm.
The Queen is so impressed that she wants to knight you. Ha! Bloody congrats. Come meet us in the main square.
All right, we did Valentine's dumb quest stuff. Let's go pillage the countryside. I want some loot.
What? Heroes village? No, we're almost done with the quest. I want to see what happens.
I agree.
Numbers, go!
Now at the top of here, we're gonna get... Ooh, if I can get up the stairs, we are going to see
Ooh, a devilish puzzle of
a puzzle, quote unquote.
tips you from nearby. Think you got the moves?
It's a rune switch. And basically it's gonna make them, three of them appear in the surroundings, and we just have to run up to them. It's actually quite trivial. And now that I think about it, why didn't they just have that as a part of the inventory upgrades? As a reward for this? Because, like everything else in the game, you just get weapons, I believe? Well, we're going to find out. Oh, almost. Yeah, so you get a little bit of money and a little bit of loot. Yeah, not exactly exciting. Onwards we go. Let's go get knighted. Ah, the gold key chest. Yeah, really don't get that either. I mean, there's no microtransactions yet. It feels so pointless because there's so many avenues.
Hero of Brighton, for your bravery defending the city, Her Majesty Queen Buckstallion is naming you a Knight of the Realm.
Thank you.
Kneel and be knighted.
Oh shit.
Not so fast, newbie. This is my world now.
Oh no.
told how my story goes. Your master's age of heroes is over, and soon her whole world will follow.
Well, that was a jarring disconnect. Now back to bright. Still low. Grip.
Just let me think for a second.
Run you through this simple hero's journey as always. Well, not this time. I'm in control now.
We'll just do elemental damage again. And I think we're up to attunement. Fun. Oh. No. Okay.
She left me with all her glittering heart. I miss her so much.
You know, over time, I'm kind of thinking that Valentine isn't that great. Hot take. I mean, it doesn't look like a pyramid, does it? Well, it kind of does.
Ask him if we're still being guided.
We're in mourning.
You are in mourning. I'm getting that sir in front of my name.
Only our queen had the power to bestow a knighthood.
I'm sure she did.
You deserve an honor for what you've done, and what must come next. Kneel, Fatemaker. Or just crouch if you need her. As regent defender of Brightwood, I name thee Squire of the Realm.
Squire? Man, that's some dragon dookie.
I know it's not much, but it'll have to do. But your new quest is none other than to save the Wonderlands itself. Journey to the pyramid. Take back the Sword of Souls.
Uh-huh.
And avenge our queen. You'll need a vessel. Speak with the dockmaster. Whatever resources we have are at your command, Fatemaker.
Oh. they're right there. Okay, hello.
Paladin life is certainly the most ahoy to you, Squire of the Realm.
Greetings. We must commandeer a ship, if there are any left intact.
Let us begin construction post-haste. Come and craft your new vessel here at the dock.
Oh my god. Craft. Whoa, I almost fell. Oh, I guess I can just jump on that.
Mine eyes have never seen such a beauty of the seas.
She's a wreck.
Nonsense. I
She doesn't look that bad.
Ship Balsania.
Wait! Before you cast off, you must get the ship blessed by a bard, or you'll be pulled down to a watery grave like Brill, whose chains are the sea.
But we're so close to taking off. I don't want to deal with sea curses.
It's not a work, man. Gotta follow the rules.
It's so tough to take it seriously with that voice.
And they eloped. There is one other man who can bless your ship, though he is only a half-bard. Still, he may now be your only hope for crossing the ocean. I last saw the half-bard heading into the weak wild dankness. He returned from those woods. Find him, if he yet still lives.
Ooh, the Weep Wild. Sounds
The
dangerous.
Weep Wild.
In a good way.
Yeah. It's a big old magical forest to the source of Brighthoof.
Sorry. Did you say Sorth?
Yeah, you know, fantasy directions. Nerp, Sorth, Imps, and Wibbles. Did you read any of the badass tone?
I looked at the pictures. There was Sword Guy and Big Knife Guy. Wait, are those the same guy? No, wait. Don't spoil it.
So last time I said about the face reading and how they did it, and now that I learned, all they did was just sync up with the GUI. They just synced up the audio with it. So no matter the language you're in, it'll sync up with the correct phononyms of how they say things, which is really cool. Seems a bit of a waste though, when you can literally run away from anybody and have the proximity hearing just displayed. So it's a shame that you don't quite see that. I wonder if the alternative would be to have animated still frames at the top. You know, when you see their picture and have that animated.
I've lost my marbles. Would you help me find them?
I'm-
secure
I'm okay, thank you. I also really like the water. So they showed that in one of the videos one time. I think it was before Wonderlands 3 came out at GDC. They showed the new fluid dynamics of the water system. And I mean, look at it. It's really impressive. Yeah, really good. I don't know too much about fluid dynamics, so all I know is that it looks good. Back to the overworld. Yeah, so Brighthoof isn't that great. On the scale of Sanctuary 1, 2 and 3, it's clearly the worst. The distance between the blacksmith place and the tavern are just so weirdly connected. You have to go through like a middle gate to get to each, and it doesn't feel fluid, and it seems too big. And even with the size of it, it doesn't feel lived in at all. We are on our way. Oh, a cheesy pickup.
Tina, you left the cheese curl on the board.
What? No, I didn't.
It's right there. It's in the way of our character.
Maybe it's not a cheese curl. Mayhaps it is a powerful ancient meteor that fell from the heavens millennia ago. And it's got a lock on it. So you gotta go to a dungeon that I totally already had ready to get the key to unlock it.
Uh-huh. Yeah. This is, again, where Wonderland shines. Things like this, hilarious. It's great. More of it, please.
Hey, Dance Fam!
Let's go into the dungeon. I've noticed as well, they haven't changed the... I wouldn't say carefully designed, Tina. That's giving it a little bit too much credit. But yeah, so we're in another one of these arena kind of styles. So another cool thing you can do is you can actually ping. So you know what? You know what I want to test out? I want to have a look at our spell. and just see how well they've done it. So if we cast it and then pause it, and then go into photo mode, let's have a look. So essentially, what it looks like is they're practically bullets, because you have your primary, but it's not a geometric shape, is it? Unless that's them. Yeah, maybe it's the front, but they don't have a geometric, so they don't really have a primary, which just seems weird to me. But they do have a long secondary here. This looks cool. And then the tertiary, I would say, are these like little sparkly bits. I mean, the VFX artists of Wonderlands are just out of this world. I mean, they've practically... Ah, I see. So actually, it's this thing here. This thing is the primary, which is fantastic, because if that was actually rotated the other way, it would look more evil. But the fact that it's smaller in the left than it is on the right actually gives it more of a frost icicle kind of look. I really, really like that. That's cool. And the colour as well, the blue. I noticed that there's a lot of purple in the game. I think that's to denote the magic of Tina. These are annoying. These are like little time bubbles. It's supposed to be a hazard or a trap, but they really don't come into play. They're more of an annoyance than anything. I think that's why they implemented them in the first place, to try and counteract the lack of enemy nuances. As I mentioned previously, all enemies can just be defeated by shooting. There's not really much thought that needs to be gone into them. So what they do to counteract that, I suppose, is to have hazards in the environment to inflate its difficulty. I think what people really didn't like is that they did that with some enemy AoE kind of stuff, where they would leave like puddles of damage, and they would do like ridiculous damage, because that's how clearly Wonderlands was designed to inflate its ability. I really dislike this as well. This X-axis following the character portal. Surreal. Surreal. It reminds me of like Half-Life. Somewhat a long time ago. It's ironic that Tiny Tina jokes about having this as a made-up, totally designed area. You know, ironically saying, "Oh, I'm slapping this all together, it's designed." And then a lot of the game is these kind of encounters. So, I can't tell if that's genius or just blatant, you know, stupidity. I guess it must have been hard, though, to make a game so compartmentalized in COVID. It must have been really tough with all the moving pieces. And yet at the same time, see, this is where it's a bit of a disconnect though, because the VFX artists have clearly outshone in this game. It makes you think, well, that kind of job needs to be communicating between different departments. So if they've done well, there's no real excuse for the other departments to clearly have no nuances. It's not so much a quality of design, it's a quality of creativity, I suppose. That's the issue. Regardless of it being developed in COVID. we have the key.
Okay, we unlocked the cheese curl.
As you put the key into the lock, the powerful ancient meteor begins to rise from the ground. Woo! Returning to the heavens from whence it came.
Fantastic.
You're going to admit you dropped that on accident, aren't you?
I have no idea what you mean.
I don't like how Valentine had nothing to say in that. He should have said something at least. Next, on to the Weep Wild Dankness, sorry. I have a lot to say about this area. A lot I really like, a lot I really don't like. I'm in a mixed bag about it. But I think I'm going to end it here, actually, and save that for tomorrow. Yeah. But yeah, the Weep Wild Dankness is, you know, I'll go through it tomorrow. But we'll give it a load in first. Oh, excuse me. Is there anything else I'd like to bring up? I mean, I think today has been mostly positives and negatives.
Wild and ghost. Soul energy weighs heavily.
So we'll leave this area for next time.
Have reached.
And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Peace.